Welcome back to the Code Yellow podcast, where we talk about relationships from the lens of scripture and good old common sense. Join us on the road to 100 subscribers. So if you like what we bring, please drop a like, drop a follow, and just join us as we get on this journey. Zav, what you got for us?
What up, y'all? All right, I have a question for each and every one of you all. All right, Devin.
Yes.
Tell me about an embarrassing fashion moment in your adolescence.
Fashion moment in adolescence.
Yeah. Did your parents have you wearing stripes and polka dots? Like, let us know.
The embarrassment more happens when I think back versus, because my parents, I think the stuff I was wearing was kind of more loose, not really as well fitting or well coordinated. Like I was wearing like polo shirts a lot, like striped polos and like different colors.
Yeah.
Before polo shirts were actually cool, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So
wait, were they polo or were they U.S. polo?
no, they were shirts with collars that are made out of cotton.
So just
Polo style.
Polo
Yeah,
style.
yeah. And like it's just I was more skinny as well, so it just I don't know. It was. I wore glasses like I do now, but it was just the vibe was just I had to grow
into it.
Yeah, let's just say that.
Okay.
I don't look like what I've been through.
Hey, thank you, God. Mercy. All right, Annie, this question is for you.
Okay.
Is there a small achievement that you're secretly proud of, but you never told anybody?
So
So you should be telling everybody, huh? Not joking.
right, I'm like,
You're like, I told everybody.
the things I'm proud of, y'all know. Just kidding. I don't think so. I mean, I was really good at track when I was in high school.
I didn't know
that's
that.
serious?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was really
You
good.
used to compete?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Sprinting, like
Shakira.
Yeah, I
Who?
was a sprinter.
Okay.
Who?
Yeah, no, I was not that good.
Period.
What was your event?
I was 100s, 200s, 4x1, 4x2, triple and long jump.
Oh, you was out there.
Triple
Yeah.
and long jump?
Yeah, 'cause I was so tall.
You
I've
was
always
long
been this
jumping?
tall. Yeah.
Girl, oh, that's a
So at least
disaster.
these legs for
Right.
something. Might as well.
Volleyball?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I was really bad at volleyball, basketball, everything. I just could run
Oh, okay.
and stay in the lane. That was like all I was good at.
I love that. So you're proud of that?
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I wish I did track I wish I had the opportunity to do
Oh,
track.
really?
Yeah. Like
Why
if
didn't you do it?
I don't know. I think my school had a lot of Saturday things going. Like so.
Oh, yeah, I was an Adventist at the time. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
All right, Jasmine, this is for you. Dun dun dun. What were you like in high school?
I was
Popular.
in everything. Yeah, I was in everything. I was African Awareness Society, World Cultures Club. I was a cheerleader. I played softball one year. I was like, you're gonna get dirty, right? I'm like, yeah. Definitely was into what am I wearing and getting my hair done. But I was very social. Very social. I was homecoming princess all 4 years. There was actually a campaign against me my
All 4
senior
years?
year.
Did I say she was popular?
But you know,
I just knew it.
Yeah, it was a good time overall. But I was ready to go, and it was time to go.
Okay.
I was just, yeah.
That's
All right.
awesome.
So mine is, if you had to describe yourself in one word, what would it be?
And you can't use Zav. 'Cause that
You
doesn't
can't
count.
use
You
handsome.
can't use swabs off.
Can't use swabs out. Lit. Okay,
Lit.
we get started. Yeah, lit.
What does that
Explain.
mean? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Brother.
Devin
Yes.
and Jasmine, Annie, they're like the same person. I cannot.
Yes.
I literally can't. Lit. Lit. Lit means I'm a leader.
Okay.
Oh, it's about to turn into an acronym.
I was about to say, I
You know I'm the
think I
acronym
shoulda
king. Y'all know I'm the
known.
acronym king.
Innovative.
Excellent.
Innovative. Ooh, yeah. And I am
That dude. Yeah.
I was gonna say talkative.
Oh no.
I'm talkative. Me? I'm talkative.
Extroverted.
You're right. Yeah. I'm a leader. I'm innovative. I'm talkative. I like that.
Yeah, talented.
Talented. Yeah.
Yeah. So before Zav commits the deadly sin of pride, we're going to jump into part 2 of our 7 Deadly Sins series. Today we're talking about greed. Oh, no, we're doing gluttony. Gluttony today. Gluttony.
Okay.
Which I can understand why you kind of intermingled them.
We'll touch that. So I just want to kind of highlight this one thing. So the 7 deadly sins, as a concept are not like together as a single sentence in the Bible, but it's a concept that a lot of people are familiar with. These different sins or different categories of sins that kind of plague us all in a different way, right? So the Bible touches all of them individually in different ways all across the Bible. So that's why we're diving into these, and they definitely affect us as we approach relationships. Yeah. So let's start talking a little bit about greed, and I have a couple of Bible verses here. Oh, gluttony. On gluttony. So the first one out of Proverbs, it's kind of hitting like the food and drink part, right? So we got, be not among drunkards or among gluttonous eaters of meat, for the drunkard and the glutton will come to poverty, and slumber will clothe them with rags. So let's I guess dive into this food and drink part, right?
Big back energy.
Big back energy. So speaking as a healthcare worker, I know like overindulgence of food and drink is kind of like a plague almost in every community, and especially our own. So
Especially America.
Yeah. So do you guys know anybody or like experienced anybody in your families that like probably could be redirected from this kind of behavior? Talk about it.
I think most Black people. I literally was having a conversation with a friend, and she was just like, "Yeah, people." She's like, she's a little bit older, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. And I was like, Lord have mercy. Like, because, and she shared just some things of how she got to that point. But unfortunately, it's very common in Black, the diaspora, Haitian,
Right.
Jamaican, African American. I'm not sure that much about like the African, like from the motherland, but just high blood pressure because the stuff that we eat, the islands, they love rice. And, it's just, I always think about how in Asia, they can eat rice every single day, but then they walk a lot. But over here, our island brothers and sisters eat rice with every meal. And it's just like, yeah, white rice is actually not really healthy. I have had people in my family that have, suffered from high blood pressure, being morbidly obese. And it's a mindset. This isn't like a mental health podcast, but I often think about, people in my life, and I wonder what they really went through. Because sometimes you're not going to know said person's story, right? We just know them at, you know your best friend at the age that you met them. You know what I mean? You met, your grandmother or your grandparent or whatever at the age that you met them. But we never know someone's story as to why they got to the position that they're in or whatnot.
Right.
So long story short, unfortunately in the Black community, gluttony is real. And I literally hate the fact when people say like, oh, yeah, this runs in my family. No, what runs in our families are really bad eating habits, not working out, celebrating, and there's nothing wrong with celebrating, right? But, I tell Jasmine all the time, like, let's not go eat all the time, right? Because when we go out to eat, it's not the healthiest stuff. 9 times
Especially
out
if
of
friends
10.
want to connect, we try to
Right.
like, oh, let's go for a walk, or let's invite them to go like do an activity versus eating as the activity.
Yeah, and then like I'm not throwing stones and hiding my hands. Like I too have struggled with like emotional eating. I didn't get to be this thick, you know what I mean, for no reason. You know what I mean? It's like emotional eating and not working out. Like I'm so proud of myself. My birthday was recently, and I told myself I'm going to the gym every single day of the month, and I only missed 3 days, so I did 28 days. Let's give it up for me.
Yes.
Y'all laughing, but like no,
No,
seriously.
for real. That's really
They're
legit.
laughing
Like-
because you are proving my love language right.
What's that?
Words of affirmation.
Yeah.
But we do want to affirm you. We're proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So like that's what I mean. Like I have never like going to the gym. I've gained weight. Like I don't know when I when I left the band and when I left the marching band in college. It's like a tongue twister. I just kind of like let myself go. I was like drinking McDonald's, frappes with nothing but sugar.
Yeah,
Oh,
lots
You
of
know what I mean?
calories.
So many empty calories in grad school. I just blew up. I was like, God, bro.
You weren't as active.
Yeah,
you
and-
ain't going to band practice every day.
Right. So that mentioning that is important because since 22, 23 years old, I've been kind of like struggling with my weight. Because I don't like going to the gym or whatnot. So anyway, long story short, gluttony is real. I am recovering gluttonous. I'm not claiming it. I'm not claiming it. You know what I mean? Trying to make better decisions in life.
Right.
But I'm gonna talk to the camera now. I just want you to get out of your mind that it runs in your family. No bad habits running your family and then running my family as well. But I saw this meme on social media and it said it ran into my family till it came to me. Especially having a child, I'm like, no, like I need to be able to run after my daughter.
Right.
I need to be able to like be okay for my grandchildren when they come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it stops with us, y'all.
Not grandchildren when you have a 4.5-month-old.
Yeah, but you gotta think ahead. You gotta think for your
See,
future.
I'm a visionary. I'm visionary. She gonna get married and have children.
Oh,
Not even one.
She's almost at the house.
But you know what? The whole time while he's talking, I'm thinking about emotions and the example I can think of is someone that is emotionally triggered, and so the eating comes.
Yeah.
And like even like today, our pastor was talking about like just healing and how important healing is, because when we don't heal, you have those triggers, right?
Yeah.
And so imagine someone who needs to heal in an area and their outlet is food and drink. And I was watching a television show, and it's a family. They had a passing in the family, and one of the siblings hasn't recovered. And she's at a place where she said it. She's like, I eat and drink because it hurts that bad. And you can physically see her putting on the weight. And it's not until she heals in that area that it's like it's connected, the trauma and the eating to try to, I guess, soothe what she's experiencing. But I feel for people who emotionally eat, especially when they're in a really, really deep place, because then they have the next hurdle of like trying to, and that could even cause more pain. It's like now I don't even recognize myself, or I'm not happy with where I am
Can't fit
physically.
my clothes.
Yeah, and it just like gets out of hand. I know for me, I was an emotional eater. And I probably still deal with it, but because I eat different things now, I can't satisfy it in the same way that I used to try to. But I was a stress eater in the sense of if I was stressed, I would like almost conjure up a
reason to go eat.
The reason to go eat and a taste for something. I'd be like, I have a taste for something. But once I changed my eating habits, that automatically cut out a lot of the things I would stress eat anyway. But it was like I had a rough day at work, and it was almost like I deserved this. Like I was rewarding myself.
Guilty.
Yeah, with things. And it's the worst when you're financially not able to. Because I was like, dang, I can't even afford like the cheapest thing. So that was another time too. That was. And so once I got the funds, it was almost like I wanted to make up for it too.
Right.
Like, I can eat whatever I want. I can go get what I want or what have you. So it wasn't good.
Yeah, I definitely think that stress can impact like how you approach food, but also I'm thinking about my own experience, because like when I went through residency as a pharmacy student, as a new pharmacist, like I graduated from school, I was 175, right? In less than a month and a half, I was 190, because I was driving I was in school in California, driving from Loma Linda, so Riverside area, to OC, which is like an hour and a half through traffic each way, right? Working 10-hour days, basically, right?
That's crazy.
So I inflated, like 15 pounds might not sound that much, but like it was visible. It was definitely visible. I was hitting like 195, right? And then I went through the whole year. I tried exercising, tried eating different foods, tried eating better foods, and I was hovering at that 195. And literally, as soon as I changed jobs after residency, I was then working Monday through Thursday. I was making it okay money. It was fine, whatever was going on. And month and a half back, boom, 180.
Wow.
Right. So it was.
Did you go to the gym, or was it was it stress?
Overall lifestyle change.
I didn't go to the gym that much that would have warranted. Oh, boom! I 10 pounds fell off just like that. No, but was I eating less, snacking less? Yes, because we were getting Starbucks like every other day from patients. Patients were bringing us food, and drug reps are bringing us food. Yeah, so that could have been could have been a factor. But also, I started therapy on Fridays, so it was my life and outlook was just very different. Stress load is way different, right? Man, like, but the scale will tell on you.
So with that being said, it's not a coincidence that God talks about that in the Word we are encouraged to fast. Gluttony is extreme greed for food and drink specifically. Fasting, what are we doing when we fast? We're taking time to physically away from food and drink. And we know that there are other types of fast. We might fast from an activity or fast from anything, but in the word, food and drink. And so I feel like there's a reason for that. And that fasting from food and drink is the total opposite of gluttony. And God warns us against gluttony, but we're also encouraged to fast. And there's a reason that we should fast to get the spiritual clarity, closeness that we need. So in my mind, I'm thinking gluttony does the opposite. It's going to push you away from, because you're so focused on your flesh. That's what it's really. You're focusing on feeding your flesh in such an insatiable way that you're not satisfied. So I need this reset in my fast so that I can get to a place where I'm not depending on food and drink and what I want to satisfy in a way that only God can satisfy you.
Right. So I am reminded of my own like family history a little bit, because I had an uncle who struggled with diabetes and like being overweight. So I don't think he was like, okay, you know, there's people that are like morbidly obese, right? He wasn't quite there, but it was definitely like he was carrying too much weight for his body, and his habits were kind of led him there, right? So he had, you know, his wife is a nurse. She was still alive, and she would, you know, they start eating less meat, but he was still kind of like, oh, sugar, oh, this, oh, that, right? She actually had to save his life one time. Wow. Like he had a heart attack while sleeping, happened to make a noise that woke her up. She had to do CPR on the bed to literally save his life. He had a heart attack. He had to do a bypass surgery. It was very emotionally shaking for him. But I think after the emotions of that situation kind of wore off, I think he kind of fell back. I don't know the full timeline, but all I know is that I woke up early one morning to a text from my parents saying that uncle died. Wow. And he was I think he was one of our closest uncles. Even though he wasn't blood to us, he was like the one who lived the closest to us for most of our lives. So like, it was kind of like hard, because we know that it's largely due to his habits that got him to where he was. Right. And his wife, our aunt, she kind of battled a lot of feelings of like anger. She was like, this is so avoidable. Think about it like that. Like this could have been, like we could have had him for longer. He was a grandfather, right? Granted, his daughter and grandchild lived far, like Florida. But like, imagine how many more, if he would still be here. Because he died, what, like 6 years ago? No, like 4 years? No, he didn't die in 2020. Yeah, he did?
The same as Dad.
Oh, yeah, 2020. Yeah. So time, you know, he could have really still been here if he changed some of his habits. He wasn't that old, you know? Yeah. So we have to think about how these things affect the people that we are close with, because no matter what you think, like you're like you being a loss, like there's somebody that's going to feel it. You know?
I have a question.
How do we... Okay.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to ask, like, so how do we combat that? Like, we're saying, you know, oh, there's this and stress and whatever. Even you talked about how you were doing all these things to try to get it, like, your weight down, but then it didn't happen, like, right away until you change your job and your habits and things. So, like, what do we tell the audience about how to help with gluttony? Like, you said fasting is one of them. Like, are we implementing, like, exercise? Are we... like checking with your therapist, like mental health wise, like what else?
All of the above. I think definitely doing a personal health audit and thinking about, because sometimes people don't really know the root of things. So I know, like we were talking about when we spend time with friends, it's like, okay, we don't have to go out to eat every time we link up with people. We may invite them to the house, or again, we say, hey, do you guys want to go for a walk? Or, you know, just finding other ways to cut, I guess, like food out, like mindless eating, that snacking. I know with me being a stay-at-home mom, I tend to snack a lot. So the snacking necessarily change, but one thing I know, like drinking more water, and also my snack options, making sure it's like I only have a hand on, you know, some things. I don't have access to certain things, I don't buy it. You know, so really creating those boundaries for yourself. Also knowing that you can't keep making the exception for, oh, it's just one time, because one time keeps adding up. Like I had to tell my mom that. And like you said, keeping things in perspective, I remind her, hey, you're a grandmother now. Your granddaughter is going to want to have extended memories with you. Like you have more than just you now. I mean, of course she has us, right? But we're adults. And I'm like, you're so excited to be a grandmother. Like, let that motivate you. And sure enough, like, it's working. Like, she's been sharing with us, like, pictures of the way she's eating and things that she is remaking after, like, spending time with us and, like, you know, just making different choices with her eating habits. So, but definitely the emotions, getting that therapy, you know, because sometimes we can't make the correlation all the time. But then when we start healing in other areas, our behaviors change. And we're like, oh, wow, there was a connection between that. So just making sure you're healthy overall, like spiritually, emotionally, physically. And I feel like you'll start to see the fruit of that.
That's great.
So just like if you see somebody pregnant, me and Jasmine laugh about this all the time. You're like, oh, they're having sex, right? Just saying, though, it sounds funny. It sounds funny. Stay with me.
Like, let's put ourselves, that was one of the things, like, oh, if I get pregnant, people are going to know I had sex. Now, granted, we're married, but still, you don't want, like, people to know your business, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just like a telltale. And so trust me, I'm going somewhere. You see someone overweight, and, like, you automatically assume that they're dealing with gluttony. But I wanted to say, like, there are some skinny people or slimmer people that are, dare I say, more unhealthy than like a bigger person.
Sure. I was too.
So
at least you're waving her hand.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
I remember in college, like I used to buy. Well, it was like college age. Cause I don't think even I was in school.
I feel like
at the time.
college stomachs are built different, but go ahead.
Listen,
Yeah, they truly are.
Because when I tell you I was a size 2, and I would buy these big wings from like the grocery store, this huge bag of like 100 wings, whatever, and I would eat it literally lunch and dinner, like wings
all day.
Wings,
What?
and then I would make it eat
You
like
just
I would
spit on
change
the
the flavor,
toilet.
like, but I wasn't. Mind you, I was constipated.
That's why you.
Yeah, so it's like when I tell you I was a size 2, everybody used to be like, "Oh my god!" Listen, when I tell you I probably got out of a heart attack at 23, I was eating so bad.
Yeah.
I remember one time someone asked me like, "When was the last time you had a vegetable or something like that?" And I was like, "Oh dang." I'm not kidding.
Vegetables.
Like, I'm not kidding.
Oh my gosh.
This is like 23, it's like now almost like 10 years ago. But yeah, like you can be skinny and
So
unhealthy.
Really unhealthy.
Suffer from gluttony. Yeah.
Y'all remember? Do you guys remember ramen? Like the ramen? Oh my gosh.
Listen,
I vowed to never eat those ever again in my life.
Listen.
After
I love
college,
me some
in college, you like.
Me too.
I got
like
over
pho.
it.
Like
But
I know
I'm
one
not
of them
good.
squares is
No.
one of those squares. That's 2 servings of ramen. You know that?
Really?
One.
Because
is
I
2.
know you was probably eating 2 back in the day. 'Cause one
Listen,
doesn't feel like enough.
No, you stack them joints and you microwave them together. Like, yeah, though one of those is 2 servings.
And let's
So-
not talk
I
about
didn't
the
know
salt
that.
intake.
Oh my gosh, the
Salt.
sodium is crazy.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, what does it matter now? But
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
I eat healthy ramen now. And
Yeah.
pho.
Or make your own ramen at home. That's what I
Right.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make my own ramen.
I love authentic ramen, but we can talk about food another time. But what we'll do, is there any more like quick notes for our audience? I know Zav gave a couple.
I guess it's like the psychology aspect, like Jasmine was saying. I think check in with why, because there's a
Right.
root to why. Like I remember one of my friends said she's lost a significant amount of weight now, but she was saying how when she was emotionally eating, like she would eat and her brain wasn't even triggering to her like you're full, like you're not hungry anymore. And it wasn't until like she started like going to psychology and like actually dealing with like the emotional trauma of why like she was eating so much, she didn't like so it's like there is a root to why. Like figure out your why and then like take those steps to like get better, live longer, be healthy. Live, even if you do make it to 80, make it to 80 without being on 7 different medications.
Yes, Lord. Jeez.
Yeah, 7's not even that low this time.
Really?
Trust me, as a pharmacist, like
that's-
I've seen,
that's like, I
I've
didn't
seen,
know
I've seen some lists. I had a patient with like 31 medications.
Yeah,
every month.
right.
Yeah,
That's-
I believe that though, because
yeah.
Were they older?
yeah.
She was older. Yeah.
Okay.
She was
'cause
older.
But that's, I feel like, well,
She was also had
tangent.
psychiatric issues. She was also dealing with.
that makes sense.
It was everything. She had diabetes. You know, I think there was a shot she was getting, and then high blood pressure, like literally got like a list, pain medication, like, yeah.
That's crazy.
So to avoid that,
Yeah, dig into why.
So Devin is not prescribing you 31 medications.
Yeah, technically I don't prescribe, but I dispense. We can talk technicalities.
Talk that talk.
Yeah, but anyway, we are gonna wrap this up. It's a lovely talk about how this crutch or this vice can affect us and our families. Just take that into account. Go day by day, making the right choices for your future, yourself, and the people that love you, and make sure to love yourself enough to take care of yourself. Because we always say, "Oh, I would die for my family," but will you live for them?
there we go.
Right. Anyway, as always, we love you. Thanks for tuning in, and heal responsibly. See you next time.
Peace.